Let me start the recording anyway. Okay, I just want to ensure that you're all able to hear me. If you're able to hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? Fantastic. All right, great. Awesome. So there are more students joining. But right, see, the reason why we are having this call with all of you, students and faculty members, and we had also invited parents to join, right? So this is a practice that we follow before the start of a new session, academic session, all right? So even though classes have already started, so we can, June is a time where we kind of consider officially kicking off, and we'll have a orientation with all the students, faculty, and the parents, right? So, so this is a special session for the architecture students, and especially we are talking about the theory aspect, right? So as architecture aspirants, you are going for either giving the NATA exam or the IIT JEE paper 2 exam, right? So a brief overview of these two. See, the JEE paper 2 exam is a standardized exam, right? And things are quite predictable. Okay, so if they say you get 20 questions of math, 80 questions of awareness, etc., you get them, all right? So the variation in experimentation of question may be about 10 to 20%, but it is still within the scope of your preparation. Okay, so JEE paper 2 is quite predictable. Whereas NATA, on the other hand, so in fact, we have been observing and noticing NATA exam since 2006. All right. So we are in 2024, 2006. So it's almost 22 years. Can you believe that, Sean? 22 years, right? It's amazing. I mean, we have been noticing the pattern of NATA exam. In fact, we were the first guys to come up with study material and mock tests for NATA, right?
Yeah, it's been 22 years really fast. And
22 years, yeah.
yeah. And I was talking to some senior architects just the other day, and I mean, obviously they were there before the NATA, when it was CT, just regular CT for Karnataka. And yeah, so it's been quite some time now.
Quite some time. So we have been observing each and every year their pattern, their exam, what they are quoting, and what actually is happening on ground, and etc. Right. So this is my personal opinion. All right. So I feel that the NATA exam is the most unpredictable exam, right? Because every year they change pattern, what they are testing, the way they are testing, everything is experimental. See, in JEE paper 2, let us say 20% of questions are experimental questions. In NATA, probably I can say 100% is experimental. You cannot guess, right? We cannot guess what's going to happen, right? Yes, this session is being recorded. All right, so we'll be uploading it on YouTube after the session. Okay. So, and as you are aware, the JEE paper 2 happens twice or thrice, 3 attempts or 2 attempts, okay, depending on the year. NATA, they keep changing the rules. So sometimes they say unlimited attempts, sometimes they'll restrict it to 3 attempts. So every year the pattern changes. So my suggestion for all the students here is that just because a particular year NATA exam has been conducted in a particular way, do not think that the same way will be continued next year as well. For example, right? So once upon a time, there was NATA exam without drawing questions. There was no drawing questions. Everything was objective type, right? They introduced it mostly during the pandemic, and they were trying to mimic UCEED exam. However, UCEED exam has evolved. UCEED exam, they started off with only objective questions, and then they added one sketching question. Last year, they have made it as 2 sketching questions, right? So NATA was observing UCEED, and they tried to mimic the UCEED exam. In fact, to begin with, NATA had both theory and sketching. All right, and they looked at the other exams and they removed the sketching. And then since the other exams have reintroduced sketching, now these guys have also reintroduced sketching, right? And very interestingly, since this year, they have a sketching question and a 3D composition question. So with the 3D materials, all right. So, so all the students who thought that when it was only all objective questions, so they will not give any sketching questions at all, so I don't have to prepare for sketching. They all fumbled when the sketching questions were introduced, right? So what we are providing here at DQ Labs for you is a comprehensive preparation. Okay, no matter how they ask the questions, what kind of a format they have, you will be very thoroughly prepared if you follow our guidance. All right. So that's number one. And number two is, how many of you are actively accessing DQ Edge? How many of you are actively accessing DQ Edge? I see 3 hands. 4, 5, 10, 12, 17, 19. Very good. 26. All right. Okay. Seems like there are about 64 members and half the students are using it. If you're not using it, use it thoroughly. Okay. And in continuation to what I said previously, focus on your sketching skills as well, because all the sketching that you are learning is the building blocks that you would be carrying with you your entire profession. Even if you're 70 years old, you still have to sketch, right? To express your ideas. That's a fast way of sketching. And sketching is very, very important for architects. Okay. So, yes, in this session, we are emphasizing on the theory, but sketching is also equally important. All right. Okay. And we have all the resources, both the DQ Edge, the theory and the sketching for the on the DQ Edge, including all recorded sessions and all of that. Okay, so please utilize them. Okay. Now I have a question for you. Can you tell me for how many marks the NATA exam is conducted? Anyone has any idea?
200.
200.
200. Very good.
200.
Would you know the breakups? How many for the theory? How many for the sketching? Or the yeah, let's say part A and part B.
120 for theory and 80 for sketching.
Yes. All right. So 120 for theory and 80 for sketching. All right. Would you know further breakup for drawing and composition test? Okay. First of all, how long is the entire test?
3 hours.
3 years.
3 hours. Okay. And how many questions are there in the drawing section or part A?
2 questions.
Okay. Anybody else can guess how many
3
questions
questions.
are there for part A?
3 questions.
3 questions. All right. So one is composition and coloring, other is sketching and composition, black and white, and other is a 3D composition question. All right. Okay. Yeah. And the part B, is it a written test or a computer-based test?
Computer based.
Computer based.
All right. Very good. Okay. And how many types of or how many categories of 2 marks questions and 4 marks questions are available?
There are
Or
32 markers and 15 4 markers, right?
Hasini, amazing. Very good. Awesome you are. Okay. Pretty good. You guys are very thorough that. All right. Now I have another question for you. So I'm sure you must be knowing about the JEE paper 2 also, right? Okay. All right. So let me ask some interesting questions regarding DQH. Do you know? Okay. So first of all, how many of you are very serious for cracking NATA or JEE paper 2? How many of you are very serious? Nice. Nice to see a lot of hands raising up. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. So here is a small secret I'm going to tell you for all of you guys. All right. If you take the number of aspirants for architecture, okay, only a small percentage of them are very serious in cracking the entrance exam, and they are investing their time like year long or 2 years for preparing and cracking. Most of the guys come in the last minute. In fact, there will be students who would have figured about architecture 1 month before, or maybe 1 week before the exam, and they come and they give the exam and go away. All right. So you all have great competitive advantage because you have already made a decision to do really well in the exam, to go into a good college, and you have also joined us to make best use of the facilities that we are providing to you. So here is a question. Do you guys know how many topics are listed on DQ Edge for architecture aspirants to study and master them thoroughly? Not just the main topics, the subtopics also. Any guesses? How many topics are there in total? Take a guess. No one? Hasini is saying 100. Any other guess? All right. So Amoga Varsha is almost close, very close. Okay, 80. So there are 79 topics that you should be thoroughly studying for the awareness. So architectural awareness is the aptitude part. Okay. And can you guess how many quizzes are there available for you? How many quizzes for practicing? Any guesses? Okay, I'll tell you. All right. There are about 157 quizzes. Again, Amoga is very closer to the answer. Amazing. All right. So there are about 157 quizzes. And last question, how many practice tests are there? So the past actual question papers, past year papers, all India mock tests, practice sets, JEE mock tests, predicted questions, all of them put together, how many practice tests are there? There are about 184 practice tests. So what I'm trying to tell you is there is fantastic information that is available on DQ Edge, right? And all this is also discussed and taught in the online classes. All right. So every class is very essential. Okay, because we have gathered all the information related to last 22 years. We have compiled them, we have generated a lot of questions, and we have made this accessible for you. You don't have to literally refer to any other study material. If you just be thorough with DQ Edge, you will do really well. Right? So the top marks is for 200. You know the highest marks students are scoring from DQ labs in these exams, the highest marks out of 200. Okay, it is between 180 and 190, between 180 and 190. If you utilize the material thoroughly and if you do really well, study really well, you can do very well in the exam. All right. So please follow whatever is being taught in the class. At any point of time, if you feel that you're not able to understand, not following the classes, and if you need additional help, we are organizing these online sessions. Okay, doubt clarification sessions. You are welcome to join them and clarify your doubts. Apart from that, going forward, we will also be having in-person doubt clarification sessions in Bangalore centers. Okay, so we will be circulating a particular day and a time and the topics that we will be discussing, such that if you have any doubts on that particular topic, right, you can come and clarify directly with Mr. Lakshmesh, right? Okay, and at any point of time, if you're finding classes that you feel that they can be improvised or enhanced, please feel free to reach out to me or Sean. We are very open to hear out your suggestions, and wherever possible, practical, we will take steps to ensure that your learning happens very, very nicely. All right. Okay. So with that, I would like to invite Sean. Sean, would you like to add some pointers here?
Yes, like Umesh was saying that, you know, since the NATA exam sometimes varies its pattern year on year slightly, I would like to reiterate, you know, you should be ready with all areas. It's not like last minute if let's say we hear the pattern has changed or something's coming up that you don't practice that. You should practice it throughout the year, and you should be fluent with all. Basically, see all that has been asked in the past, different variations, and be ready with all of that. And like Umesh said, follow what we are telling you. We are guiding you. Sorry, and practice those, and it will really help you. But most importantly, start well in advance. Start now. We are almost in the month of July. Don't keep everything pending towards the end. Then things start beginning to pile up. Also, your board exams will come. So it is best if you spread it out throughout the year. I mean, now early, right? And that it's easier for you towards the end. But otherwise, what will happen is, in the end, so much of your NATA exam, ITJ exam study will be pending, your board exams will be pending, and then it starts creating pressure for you. And like Umesh said, students have done very well in DK labs in the past. So if you start in advance, it will really help you. Number one. Number two is, even when you're studying, especially your sketching, your architectural awareness, don't take it as only for the exam like IITG and NATA. Take it long term, because after this you all will be architects, right? So even when you go for your first semester, second semester, or in your architecture school, it's all this basic perspective, interiors, exteriors, quick sketching. It will really help you in the long run. Don't study it only from an examination point of view. Study because it is your ABC for architecture, right? Even your architectural awareness and everything that you study there, take it as it is your basic knowledge that you require for the long term. I mean, if you have that attitude, then it becomes more enjoyable, more interesting when you study. Yes. So another thing is, if you practice every day, you will improve on your speed. Speed is another thing that in an exam you should be able to draw fast. So daily practice, especially. Okay, how many of you all do your regular? I think over and over again, Jyoti Madam has said about your daily sketch practices, like your mannequin sketches, humans in different poses. How many do this on a daily basis? Personally, I mean, not for us, but can you say yes in the chat? How many practice your daily mannequin sketches, human in different poses? Anybody? at least a little bit on a daily basis, at least once in 2 days. Yeah, Hasani, yes. Tanya, yes. Very good. January, yes. Yes. Okay. A lot of students are doing that. Fantastic. Because see, let's say you're doing studying human poses in different forms, like, maybe gymnastics or dance or karate or sport, right? Try those different upside down poses, yoga. So what's going to happen is it's going to create like a database in your mind, like a library, right? And then easily when you're drawing, especially environment shots, you're not thinking, it's all accessible. So it's also not only just practice so that you become better, it's also creating a library in your mind. Also with your aptitude, it is quite often some of these aptitude questions are easy. I mean, given the time, you can do them, but in an exam, it's not about, you don't have all the time. You have to not only answer those questions, you need to answer them fast. So therefore, practice is extremely important. Go through Edge, go through the material, practice it over and over again. And that's important. So and also later on, Umesh, we will be talking about the exam readiness classes which are happening in October.
Oh, right. Yes. So so I advise all the students, especially those who are going to give the exam in 2025, all right, try to finish as soon as possible, because Sean, these guys will be having their exams in March, April. We can have the
Yes.
exam readiness little later as well.
Yes, yes. But also we can have possibly one round in October, because since they have holidays. Yeah. And also
Yes.
another round later.
So see, exam preparation, take it as a long-term game, not a sprint. Right? You cannot, okay, 2-3 months I'll study and then everything is done. It cannot happen like that. Slowly, you have to keep mastering the content and then practice them. Okay, if you go in that mode, you will be very, very strong compared to any other competition. Okay, cool. So any of you have got any doubts that you would like to clarify or ask? Any doubts in terms of your preparation, in terms of the content, in terms of classes, or any difficulties that you are finding in terms of your sketching work?
Sir?
Yes, Nisha.
Yeah, so like for studying the GK of architecture awareness, it's a lot to like pick up. And at times you forget what you've learned. So is there any way you can like absorb all of it?
Yeah. So we have to wait another maybe 10-20 years waiting on Elon Musk's chip implant in the brain to absorb everything. But till that point, we have to kind of approach GK with a lot of enthusiasm and curiosity, right? See, and these are very, very interesting stuff. Already, for example, building elements. Okay, there are like 300-400 building elements, but it is, I mean, I personally find it very interesting. So you look into the element, try to understand, try to see which building has this kind of an element and how is it built. If you go into that curious mode, no, the studying will get more interesting, and the chances of you forgetting will be very less.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Misha.
Sir,
Yeah.
Tanya, could you hold on? Misha, I just want to add to that.
Yes, sir.
So let's say, for example, if you're studying about architects and their works, right? See, what really helps is if you watch some YouTube videos about them, right? And little more reading on the internet, then it's a deeper, there's deeper memory retention. You understand, right? If you're studying any architect, I would recommend, it's not just Edge. So let's say you found these, say, 10 architects on Edge, right? Go to the internet, watch about their lives, their thinking, their thought process, what influenced them, what is their style, what is the work they do. Watch different types of videos, try to read about the net. That will help you stronger. So break down every section of architectural awareness accordingly, and also do a lot of reference material from the net. Basically, try to build a story around anything, even if it's building materials or whatever. See how it's being used, what are the different styles all around the world. Build a story around it. That way, rather than just by hearting, when you build the story, you will understand also why, what influenced this architect, why these materials being used, or anything like that, right? Of history of certain type of architecture. When you read the entire story, you see the larger picture, it will help better.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Tanya, you were there next.
When will the math part of JEE be starting online?
So Meena, can you please share? Meena, are you there? Not sure if Meena is there or not.
I can see her online. I'll give her a call, Umesh. We can go to the next question and come back to this.
So
Yes, I'm there.
okay, could you please screen share the timetable and see when are the math classes starting from?
Yes, sure. I'll just share the screen.
Yes.
So maths class starts in July 3rd week.
All right, there you go. Okay. This question was from Amoga Varsha as well. So you can access this calendar, and somebody were also asking, okay, Ashwita is asking, sir, I missed my last theory class, so is there a way I could redo that particular class? Yes. In fact, if you see this calendar here, you have 2 dates, right? For example, say week 43 October, or you can take an example. Like, for example, can you take the last week? What was the last week in June?
Last week, June? Yeah.
Let us say June 25th, right? No, sorry, week 25. All right, for example, week 25, okay, and the topic was AR1. And this topic, if you have missed in week 25, which happens in June, it can be re-attended in October, in week 41. All right, so here we are showing that we are repeating the classes 2 times, but the classes are repeated multiple times because once we'll be repeating just before the exam and multiple times before the exam. So if you, by any chance, if you miss a particular class, you get plenty of opportunities to redo them. Okay.
So is it like an individual redoing, or is it like the same kind or the same type of time that we have these recaps?
There are 2 things. All right. So here, when you're seeing the week number under tentative repeat of the class, so this is definite repeat of the class. All right. But when we are doing the short-term courses and etc., we try to, it will not be like a detailed one like that, but we'll be giving you some basics, understandings, and we'll be going into problem solving. Okay. And if it is for these, like for example, students who are going for 2 years, for the second year, what happens is, in fact, your classes will be separate. And because you have already done the basics, we'll be going into little advanced. So that is the advantage for those who are joined for a 2-year program. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, is the
Sorry. Yeah, who is that?
I had a doubt.
Yes.
I wanted to know what kind of or what how depth our knowledge for physics and chemistry, okay, not chemistry, physics should be for NATA and JEE paper 2. Do we need any extra preparation or is it just CBSE?
All right. So that's a good question. Number one, in JEE, there is no physics. Right? In JEE, there is no physics.
Okay.
As I said, JEE paper 2 is more predictable. Now, in NATA, there was a particular time where they were asking complex physics questions. All right. But in the recent times, they have toned it down to very simple level. Even if they ask a physics question, it would be mostly about a phenomena, not a calculative based kind of a question.
Okay, so there's no extra preparation required.
There is no extra preparation required as of now. As I said, okay, they may do anything. So once we see the first attempt, then we'll come to know, okay, what is going in their mind, how they are trying to ask this particular year. Then accordingly, we'll modify and help you prepare during that time. All right. But for now,
sir.
please follow whatever we have been teaching you in the NATA classes. Okay.
Okay, so just the DQ portions.
Yes. Just go with the DQ portions. You don't have to study any other material. If you're, I think it's just a waste of time going through other materials because there are so many unrelevant questions,
through the
unrelevant
website,
topics.
Whatever is there in the website.
On the website,
even,
yes.
architecture awareness and all that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, is the math of JEE paper 2 just as tough as JEE paper 1?
Yes. That is.
Okay. Okay.
There is a standard math. There is no change in that. Okay?
Also, sir, how many hours a day would you say we should study for NATA and JEE paper 2?
Okay, see, there has to be a balance between your PCM preparation and NATA preparation because 50% of your JEE marks will go into the final ranking, right? Especially for NATA, right? So it is important to balance your both boards and also NATA exam. So how much time? The first thing is, see, you will be attending 3 classes in a week, right? Those 3 classes, do not miss them at any cost. That's the first primary thing. Second is, beyond that, if you get time, do practice, do research about architectural topics. Okay. So how much, let's say maybe if you're able to spend 2 hours a day, that is pretty good because you're doing it consistently across a year. Right? All those who are giving the NATA entrance exam, so you'll be giving the NATA in sometime in April. So you have good amount of time for preparations. Okay, so you can easily manage your boards and also manage the NATA preparation. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes,
So,
Siddhi.
do you recommend any books that help us in GK or architectural awareness or general aptitude that we can use as a reference to study if we're not looking at the edge or our laptops?
So there are 3 resources which are very, very good.
Like how JEE Mains has like this specific book.
Yes. There are 3 resources I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
One is DQ Edge. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
So first is DQ Edge. Second is DQ Edge. Third is DQ Edge. 3 resources. Please thoroughly do it. Do DQ Edge thrice. All right. You'll be in a very good position. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Don't go for any other material, waste of energy. Yeah.
No, because I was asking because in my school we have the hostel program, and it's not that easy to access my laptop or my device there. So
I know. So we are coming up with certain books. Okay. This time we are determined to release them. Okay. We used to have pre-pandemic, but after the pandemic, we were shifted completely to DQ Edge, and DQ Edge also gives tremendous insights for you. All right. So that is the
Yes,
reason we were sticking to that. But there are so many requests from parents and etc. to have certain material that they can study in terms of a book format. So we are very determined to release them. So by another 4 or 5 months, we will be releasing them. So you can buy them and you can study them. All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It's really helpful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I actually received a book for NATA from Jyoti ma'am.
So those were the pre-pandemic books. Yes. So Siddhi, who asked this question? Who wanted the study material?
Me, sir.
Siddhi?
Siddhi.
Jyoti ma'am, can you just connect with Siddhi and see if you have the extra copies? Send a copy to her.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So
Thank
could
you.
you please send a copy to me as well?
Yeah. Whoever wants a copy, please connect with Jyoti ma'am. We'll see if you have the extra copies. We'll send. Otherwise, a couple of months we'll be having them. All right.
Yeah,
Just
because
send me a message. I'll try to get the book for you.
Yeah.
yes,
Sure.
sir.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Cool. There's a question here by Gauri. For the 2-year program, will all the topics be spread out over 2 years or will it be repeated? Okay, so as I said, Gauri, we will finish all the fundamentals in year 1 and we'll be talking about the advanced problems and solutions in year 2. All right, so that is how it's going to happen. Akriti is saying, sir, the JEE mock tests have been locked. I wanted to attempt a few of the previous tests and I wasn't able to attempt. Akriti, Meena, can you just look into it?
Sir, they were talking about AIM test, but AIM test we can't unlock it.
No. AIM tests are locked. So it is opened once a month. If you are not serious, if you're not answering them, it's very difficult for you to access the previous months. So the point is, we want you to develop a kind of a schedule and discipline in answering these AIM mock tests. AIM are All India Monthly Mock Tests. Please do not miss them, right? You work your schedule around that particular day and time. Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, Akriti. Unfortunately, if you have missed something, especially the AIM mock test, we will not be able to repeat that. Okay.
I have a doubt.
Yes, Smira.
Recently, as recent as I could, I have checked the syllabus of NATA,
Mhm.
and they've mentioned chemistry and physics, which is a little scary because I left paper 1 because of that.
You left
Do
paper
we
1.
have? No,
What do
I
you
was
mean?
studying for paper 1. Physics and chemistry was the reason
Oh,
why I came to paper 2.
that way. So I mean, as I said, it will be more application oriented questions, not formula based or anything like that. All right.
So there's going to
don't
be
be
chemistry,
scared.
physics, maths, and drawing and architecture.
For NATA, they mention it, but as I said, they do whatever they want to do, and there are no physics and chemistry questions in the recent exams.
Oh, so 2025 we won't have to like expect the probability is not that high. Okay, because I was getting scared. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt. Like, I recently joined the class, so like
Very
all
good.
the physics, maths, and all of them like are taken in this class only, right? There's no separate class for it.
Physics, math. I mean, aptitude. You're talking about aptitude, right?
Yeah, no, like I meant like all the theory, like the
All
physics,
the
math,
theory. Yes.
all of the theory are taken in this class,
All
right?
the theory that is required for you to crack for NATA and JEE paper 2 are done in these classes. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Excuse me, sir. So I could get a message telling that there's a like tour organized to Japan. So can I get the details of it?
Yeah. Jyoti ma'am, could you please share the details?
I'll just share it, sir.
Yeah, share it in the chat. So, did you guys did not get that information? I think it was circulated in the WhatsApp groups. So, okay.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Yeah, if
Sir,
you can.
what are the drawings we can practice on daily basis, sir? Which are needed for the exam?
On a daily basis. Very interesting. Be very good in your perspective drawings. All right, that's number one. Number two, what I generally see is that, let us say we ask you to draw a museum interior. 99.99% of the cases I see that they draw one boring room, right? So you can make that space very interesting. Okay, so it's not just about drawing everything in perspective, but making or creating a very attractive creative space. All right, so let me try to show some examples. All right, okay. Creative museum interior. All right, okay, see, let me show my screen. See, you have the creative freedom to create any kind of a interior, right? Okay. So let me take some images here. All right. So look how the space is here, right? Or look how they have created this this interesting exhibit in the museum, right? So try to create something very, very exciting and interesting, not just a simple I mean, 3 walls and a straight roof, and don't make it boring. Any drawing for that matter, try to create something very exciting.
Okay, sir.
And try to practice that. Now look into this particular space. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You see how interesting this space is with different levels and some the column also. You see the column, how interesting it is, right? And see the staircase, how it is going up, and the patterns on the ceiling, right? So, I mean, as an architect, you are supposed to create inspiring spaces. Now, if you get a question saying, okay, draw a school or draw a bedroom or something like that, try to make it very, very exciting in perspective. So practice that in your free time. And for doing that, it doesn't happen like that. You need to be searching for such kind of a spaces, take inspiration, practice, right? Then you will be in a very good position, right? Yeah. Sean,
Yes,
would you
sir.
like to add some thoughts here? Regarding how they can make use of their time.
Okay. Sorry. The best is to have a variation, like, so that you don't get bored. Like, number one, when I say variation is like, let's say, for example, if you're studying theory, right? I mean, make sure that you study different kinds of topics so that, you're not stuck in one type, or jump between aptitude, awareness, drawing. Even in drawing also, make sure you have different types. Let's say if you're doing your daily sketch, right? I mean, don't just stick to only human mannequins. Go to facial expressions, hands, animals, cartoon characters, textures, trees, or try different things, environment shots. The moment you have variation, it just becomes more interesting. Number two is make sure that you're covering the entire range, right? You're not just stuck in one area, or it's just like, let's say, X number of topics, and it's only certain topics you're doing well and certain topics are neglecting. Make sure that you cover all the topics, and all the topics you're improving side by going together, because there are some topics you're very strong at, some topics you're weak at. In fact, sometimes students may have this tendency to have some favorite topics that they like, and they go more and more into that, or some topics they think they're not good at it, and they usually try to run away from it. Actually, don't run away from it. You must see, you must also be very well aware of topics that you think you don't like or you're not strong at, and actually you should tackle that more. But the point is, on an everyday basis, try to have a whole range. Or when I say it's not every day, say within the week or every 2 weeks. So there's a cyclic process that you're covering all the topics, you're covering all the topics equally. You're strong in all areas. So you may cover a topic, but maybe say 3 topics you're strong at, 1 topic you may be weak at. So you must pay a little more attention to that. And that's how you practice on a daily basis. Also, break it up into certain amount of time spent for sketching, certain amount of time spent for theory. Minimal. So there's a balance also between the two of them. So that's what I would recommend to do on a daily basis. How you go about it on a daily basis, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse
So
me,
you,
sir.
yes, Anthony.
Sir, is it better to practice our sketch with a reference or without a reference?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So there's absolutely nothing wrong in doing it with reference. Go ahead and practice as much as sketches as you can with reference. But here's the important part: to keep on practicing every day, on and on, like a marathon. What happens is, by default, over a period of time, you'll start doing your own work. It just comes naturally. It comes by default. So if you're finding it difficult initially to draw on your own, it does not matter. What matters is you're getting practice, right? So go on Pinterest, go on Edge. Edge also, you can scroll down and see so many other students' works. Practice with absolute reference, no problem at all. But what I'm saying is, do it every day and do not hundreds, you have to do thousands of sketches, right? And by default, you yourself, without, before you realizing it, only you'll be doing all things on your own. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, see, even if you see the architects and great artists, okay, so how they begin is by seeing and replicating. Once they understand the proportions and they master that art, then they break the rules, right? So it is absolutely fine if you want to copy them, you copy them. So as you go forward with copying and etc., then you can add your own work. In fact, in the advanced classes, this is the method that we use. How many of you are doing the advanced classes here? Advanced sketching classes? Yes, yes, yes. So are you doing the replications of environments, buildings, and etc.? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes? All right.
Yes, sir.
So once you get a hang of it, then you can start doing your own creative work. You can change some elements here and there, add more details, etc., depending on how comfortable you are able to break away from that particular sketch, right? So yeah, I mean, both are required: seeing, drawing, and creating your own work. All right. Okay.
Yes, that's a good point. You know, when you can even keep slightly varying also what you're seeing. That's absolutely fantastic. Add in your own elements, add your slight variations. But if you're getting stuck, don't worry. It's not like, oh, you have to start off with, thinking of your own. Absolutely no problem. Copy as much as you can till you're very, 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 very comfortable. And then slowly get into variation and slowly explore and push yourself to find some poses on your own. It will come naturally to you. But the most important thing is to do consistently every day, like a marathon. Any other questions?
Any other questions anyone has?
So how much time do you suggest we split between like our school work and PCM work, and then also like architecture preparedness?
So I just had given a answer just a couple of questions before. So see, bottom line is you cannot miss any of the DQ classes. There are 3 classes in a week. You have to attend those 3 classes, whether it is an exam, no exam, board submissions, whatever it is. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 is, apart from that, if you are spending about 2 hours a day, that's pretty good for architecture preparation. And if you're able to do beyond that, you're welcome. but you cannot ignore both. I mean, you cannot ignore your board preparation and also you cannot ignore your NATA preparation. You got to balance them like this.
So, during those 2 hours, what are we supposed to work on? Is it just
So
sketching or what exactly?
identify your weakness. You would know where you're weak at, or a topic that you are really having difficulty in learning. Spend time on it. Okay, try to see, or let us say, okay, tell me a topic that you are finding difficult. I can help you how to overcome that.
Sketching in general.
Sketching in general.
Because
Okay.
before this, I didn't practice sketching a lot till I joined DQ.
That's cool. That's cool. So which module you are in the sketching? Have you finished perspective?
Yeah, I'm in the end of perspective in basic, and
Okay.
in advance, I'm doing the interior. Like it, I think is the 5th sketch or something.
Okay, and you're finding perspective difficult, right? Or challenging?
Not really. It's just
Okay.
before joining DQ, I wasn't into sketching at all, and then I
That's
decided
okay.
to do this. So I don't have much practice.
No problem.
And plus, school also I have school books. So I can't find enough time for that either.
All right. So, in fact, there was answer in your question that you have asked, the briefing that you have done. You said that you don't have enough practice prior coming to DQ. In DQ, you are learning this stuff. So what,
Yes,
if you get time, what you should be doing is practicing those concepts. The more practice you do, the more comfortable you become.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Okay,
so
sir.
for example, for
Yeah, but
perspective
time
itself,
management is again the problem here.
You start with at least half an hour a day. All right. Once you're comfortable of allocating half an hour for your sketching in a day, slowly you can increase it.
Okay, sir.
All right, Tanvi? Yeah.
Okay, I can add to that. See, now when Umesh says 2 hours, okay, it need not necessarily mean that you sit 2 hours, say from, say, maybe 5 to 7 or 4 to 6 or something. It need not be continuous. You can do a little bit in the morning. You can do a little bit in the afternoon. You can do a little bit in the evening. You can even break it down into half-an-hour sessions, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 2 is, it's always best to have a variation, like a little bit of drawing, a little bit of theory, within a day. It's good. Or at least in the week, you must have variation, okay? That you're studying different things. First is plan yourself. You say, oh, okay, write down, make a list, visually stick a piece of paper on the wall and say, okay, so many topics in drawing, so many topics in theory, and all that. Put it down so you yourself can visually see these are the different topics. Have different variations in a day. Don't have to start straight away from 2 hours. Even start at 15 minutes a day. Go on, at least do consistently 15 minutes. Increase it to half an hour. Increase it to 45 minutes. And like I said, morning a little bit, afternoon a little bit, evening a little bit. You're traveling, you're doing something, you're bored, you're sitting before lunch, after dinner, right? I mean, and see, there is always time. As long as we get time to surf Instagram or check our messages, then obviously you have time for anything. Just find, you will find time in between. And when you do this on a regular basis, it'll just come very naturally. It'll come, you should be able to find it all the spaces. So now the point is, 11th and 12th standard students, you have to take that extra load. So it's not just you, it's all the students. It's not just, you going to school, you having a lot of schoolwork or boards. Everybody's in the exact same situation as you, and everybody's trying to find, basically study for 2 things. That is your regular schoolwork as well as your the examination that you're going towards the end of the year. So, but you have to find the time, put in that extra work, but it'll help better if your mind has clarity, know your topics, organize yourself, see everything in front of you, make a small map, post it on your study table, so you have a better picture, and break it up during the whole day into parts and increase it over time.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other questions? At any point of time, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Ria.
Sir, I wanted to ask about the AIM like tests every
Yes.
month.
Yes.
I joined DQ like 2 months ago. So is it possible if I can like still attend it? Because I don't know much about.
Absolutely, you're welcome. We encourage all students to take whether they have irrespective of when they have joined the course, right? Because it's a great opportunity for you to understand what is asked in the exam, whether you're able to finish all the questions or not, right? And as and when you attend our classes and as you proceed forward, you can see improvement in your attempt. And that's a great sign for you that you are learning and it's working, right? So I recommend you to go ahead and give the exam. Take the exam, no problem. Even if you get everything 0, no problem. Okay. So go with an open mind, understand what is being asked, how to attempt them, the difficulties involved. Try to understand. Give the exam. All right.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay. All right. I think there is another half an hour for the class, so probably we can conclude this special session and the faculty can continue with their regular whatever you are planned for today. Okay. So I wish you all the best and make use of every tool that we are giving you. Okay. And do not miss any of the classes. Be sincerely attending them. If you have any questions, please ask the faculty. If they're not getting dissolved, we are here to help you out. Okay. And I'm not sure if I have said, I think I told about Lakshmesha taking the face-to-face, in-person doubt clarification sessions, right? So we'll be sharing that schedule. So you can also use that opportunity. Okay. So if you
Sir, is that only in Indranagar or other branches also?
other branches of Bangalore, yes, other branches of Bangalore as well. Yeah.
Okay. Sir.
All right. If you do it, if you follow this process and do it thoroughly, you will be having very good result and you can get into a good school for sure. All right. Okay. So, Sean, any closing remarks would you like to add?
Yes, so it's very good that you have attended the session. These sessions are very important.
Hey, attendance.
Yeah, attendance,
Jyoti.
Jyoti,
I
anybody?
shared the in the chat box. If you want, I'll share it again.
Yeah, please send again. Everybody who have not filled in the attendance, please fill in the attendance because we would like to see who have attended these classes, keep a record whether you have attended these sessions. Please don't miss these sessions in the future. You get small, basic, fundamental, good, strong information. It will help you get back on track. And if you all have missed, if there are some questions that you have not asked, you can always get back to us. Okay, you can always give us a call, talk to us. Please don't miss the theory classes, the online classes, very important. And like I said, start early, start now, so that you spread out the load, right? Think of all the points that we said. If any points are interesting for you, make a note of it and follow them, right? And anything you all still have any doubts, you all can get back in touch with us. Yeah. That's it, Umesh.
Nice. All right. Okay. Thank you all so much for attending. You stay back and I think Meena will guide you the next steps. All right. All right. All the best, guys.
Okay.
Meena?
All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Meena,
so much.
please take over.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much.